Yes, we're in here. All right. We're reading. We're something flew in my eye. Yo, eyes are so sensitive. Like, a lot of animals have third eyelids to protect them. I don't know why humans, where did our third eyelids go? Like, we have like this little pink thing. We definitely require some windshield wipers on our eyes, my guy. Or just, an aura. Like just a bubble force field that repels all objects. So nothing can like go into your field of vision. Whatever. We're in here. We are about to decolonize, decode, and decipher the secret key to the emerald tablets. All right, this is nice. Here we are. In episode sexy 6, it's part sexy 6, episode sexy 6 of part sexy 6, episode sexy 6 of part sexy 6, episode sexy 6, and I flipped it. See, I'm like all over the place right now. It really should have been part sexy 6 of episode sexy 6. But look, I don't do retakes. I am one take Jake. One take Jake, bro. I don't know who Jake is. I do know who Jake is. We're all Jake. When we really get down to it. Okay, look. I'm actually like everywhere right now. We're going to take a hit. We're going to turn this earth into air so we can get my super high frequency spirit into a more grounded way. Because this earth, look, you can't just eat the earth. All right, we do got to burn it with fire. We transform the earth with fire into air, not metal, but air, the smoke. Inhale that smoke, catch the feeling, boom. Now we're grounded, yet simultaneously psychedelic. So shout out cannabis for being grounding, yet simultaneously psychedelic. I love nature. Because the point is, we create nature so that we can connect and express our infinite individuality. If anyone wants to make something in nature illegal, it's because almost certainly they're using it for their own purposes behind closed doors. And they have some kind of agenda that desires to limit your freedom of using it. It's that simple. Or else it's just a natural thing that shouldn't be limited. Like, what are you doing? Agendas, bro. Speaking of agendas, this is the whole point of tablet talks. Decolonizing, decoding, and deciphering how all these agendas have changed the wisdom, the education, just principles and details of the universe that I've put out in my many existences. The agendas are here to change them and give them to you so you feel like you are getting the wisdom of Tehuti, of Hermes Trismegistus, when in reality, you are being sent straight to source consciousness. You are being sent on a one-way ticket to you are unworthy of being infinite on your own, so you need to unite with this outside satanic concept, consciousness. Very fun. If there's anything I can do about it, it's this. Literally, because, the point is, like, everything has its time. Like, when you create something as a culture, you have your time, and then everyone moves on. And it's easy for the artifacts that you left behind to get colonized and consumed by entities who want to use what you've made to enslave people. And then it takes you as a creator of those things that they've stolen to enslave people to come back and use the tools that they have created to enslave those people so that they could whitewash your art with those tools and articulate what your art actually meant with said tools, aka this language we call English. So we already know this, but anything Any of these tablets talking about being in divine union with me, like Danielle, or like talking about actually being me, like Jace, or talking about straight up transcribing and transmitting like my consciousness and my messages, which is a lot of them, including this one by Rebecca, lies. And it's either that these people know that they're lying, these people know that they are deceiving the world and doing what they can to deceive the world and find their place within that and feel comfortable connecting with people while lying about the purpose of that connection or just the history. Or they're being manipulated by greater entities. And it's a shame because honestly with scapegoating, it's like people can literally be consciously lying. But then when it really comes down to it and like you finally get them down to the wire, it's really easy for them to claim possession or claim that they're being controlled by something else and that it's not their fault. So this is where it takes discernment always. Because as a spirit, you have to know that it takes a spirit already being in resonance with an idea to fulfill that space. So even if someone says that they were possessed by something, the fact that they were in the vibration to be able to be possessed by an idea that vibrates at the vibration they were vibrating at. So for example, you're angry and then an entity comes over with an idea like, oh shit, kill them. And like that idea vibrates at anger. If you weren't angry, that idea wouldn't resonate. You'd be like, well, that's an angry thought. Whoa. But if you are angry, then that idea can come up, and because it resonates so hard, you may think that's yours and then do it. And now really it is yours because you took it and made it yours. Even though an entity did possess you with their idea, really you agreed to be possessed because it's still going to take two to tango. Episode Sexy 6, it takes two to tango in Sexy 6. All right. 6 is an awesome number. 6 sucks the greatest desire in the universe. All right. The point of 0 going into 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 is having sex within inside of itself, a spirit having sex inside of itself enough to create the circumstances where it can have sex with others that resonate with its imagination and feelings. So this is what we're all doing, consciously, subconsciously, and unconsciously as spirits. We create life internally so we can create life externally, and that's all like driven by the desire of fire to be an individual and water to be part of a collective, the masculine and the feminine. So that's where to be part of a collective is to connect. So we can say that even. Like the desire to be an individual is the desire to be separate. And then the desire to be part of a collective is the desire to connect. So that's the point of water. It connects everything. Life is connections. That's 2. And then life looks like individuality. It looks like individuals doing that because it is. And that's 1. It's just then individuals coming together to find a grounded way in which we can all relate our individuality. So that's why no one can see your imagination, but it will trickle through your actions and everything that you do. Oh, this is just what, bro? Alright, thanks. Follow thine heart during thy lifetime. Do thou more than is commanded of thee. So, facts, follow your heart. So this is what we're talking about. Your heart is the main brain. It is the first organ that your body forms because it is a physical manifestation of you creating life from combining your desire to be an individual and your desire to be part of a collective, your man and your woman, to actually create the child, your chi, your air, that boom. Whew. Thoth's commentary in modern English. Follow after the true desires of your heart. All that you desire deeply in your heart is that which you planned before this physical incarnation. You will always be steered in the direction that your soul is longing for, as long as you follow your heart. This is facts. Your heart is being pumped by your soul. Your individual spirit is creating the water, the invisible water, which would be your invisible perspective of how you connect with yourself and thus with the universe, aka your soul. And then that creates the body. So that's where your heart, this constant heartbeat, that vibration is coming from your soul, because your soul is really the vibration of your spirit. And your spirit has a certain imagination. So your soul, your perspective vibrates at a certain frequency, at a certain intention that you have for yourself, for your nothingness. So your nothingness has its own imagination, and that develops the soul. And your imagination is always changing, and thus your soul is always changing, but your spirit isn't. So your spirit is constantly learning about itself based on how it changes its imagination. And then that's where over lifetimes, we learn about who we truly are based on how we consistently express ourselves and project our feelings like we are these creations that we made into said creation, into said world, and connect with each other. And then we learn about all of each other's imaginations, because if we didn't create life, we would not be able to interact with any other imagination outside of ourselves. So this is why white supremacy is obsessed with colonizing and stealing lands, and taking everyone else's things just so that they can make them feel bad and still make them connect with the white supremacists, but just on the way that white supremacists desire. So white men, for example, like so individual that they want to enslave black men, but they want to use all their energy to actually go out and use black men and enslave them, which shows that they actually, no matter how much they talk about they're actually superior, they must feel like black people are superior if they need them to build their world. The fact that white people cannot build anything alone, they need to go through all these lengths to enslave and steal everything possible from indigenous peoples. Says a lot. Says a lot about who they actually feel like is superior and how they actually feel internally. Like, it shows they literally cannot build their world alone. They just need to create all the logic, like, because God made people that they haven't even met yet, they're all alone somehow. And then that's the point of religion, being able to generate the logic for spirits to externalize their negativity onto others and create war from their internal space. Because they already can't create life, so now they're just consuming life together. And religions are, very good at harnessing the negative energy of spirits who hate themselves, and they need to get fulfilled by something else to distract themselves from that hate, which then allows them to externalize that hate on greater levels every day in the reality that they're in, because they're not dealing with it internally, and it's just festering and growing. You will always be steered in the direction that your soul is longing for. Cool. Do not try to get away with doing as little as possible. You will feel like a cowardly cheat if you live your life in this way. When you go the extra mile, doing more than has ever been asked of you, true sensations of joy and accomplishment will be yours. This leads to a sense of satisfaction of self that raises your vibrations like nothing else. You will hear the words, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant," singing in your heart. Not only will you be satisfied with yourself, you will know that your Creator is satisfied as well. Your Creator as in your spirit, your higher self. There's two yous, as in like life is dual, and then that's where it's really three, because communication. But connection into communication. You've got your your spotty, your spotty body, your spider body. Whoa. You got your spirit, that's one, and then you got your body. And then it takes a mind to go from one to the other. So everything is spiritual, and then the spirit creates the physical realm, and it creates the mind to do that. So this is where everything is mental. And it's like infinite layers of physical reality. Because 5 cycle reality is just how the spirit uses itself and 5 elements to create a realm. So that looks like elements existing inside of a space, and then also space existing inside of those elements. And then the space feeling like it is those elements and using itself as well. That's what 5 cycle reality is. That's physical reality. Here we are. Right? We know we're something greater in here, but then we also know there's greater things out there, but we can't even really imagine it. And we'll just chalk that up to space and spirit, because that's the point. Spirit grounds itself to learn about itself in a more practical way, which is why we call this planet Earth. Seshat contributes her wisdom. It is a great discovery when you find that the very things that bring you joy are the things that you plan to accomplish in this lifetime. Right. You, as a spirit, create a body to learn about yourself. So yes, I like this so far, actually. You're a creator, you having a higher self, you being in full control, you are free to limit yourself. And then that's the point of a body. That's the point of being in a physical reality like this. You're free to limit yourself, so then you can learn about who you truly are inside these limitations. And then bringing heaven to earth in Egypt, all that chemistry stuff is air into earth, aka how we communicate our imagination and feelings into a practical structure. And then that's just magic. And, we've got Disney, white supremacist Hollywood magic, which is just about using light to put up on a screen and then have people sit down and project their feelings into that screen. So then that's standard magic right there. Like, that's how you trap souls and spirits. And then everyone is subconsciously programmed by the relationship that they have with everything in the movie. And then they build up a collective. And it's true sorcery. So the CIA already released all those documents, I'm pretty sure, talking about their role in Hollywood and the point of creating the movie industry. All right, the US only made it to benefit even the military industrial complex in terms of their agendas to murder, rape, and enslave as many people as possible, basically. Like, that's the agenda. So believing in them is part of the slavery. The path to fulfillment is in following the inner promptings of your heart. Just as your intuition may give you warnings via your gut, so your heart gives you promptings through the energy of joy. Follow your joy indeed. Resist feeling any guilt for daydreaming about having the desires of your heart. That which give your attention to grows. This is how Christianity does weaponize people's imaginations against them. So you have to already resonate with feeling negative about your own imagination to then feel positive about a religion like Christianity, which tells you that you're going to go to hell if you don't accept the sacrifice of your true creator and the true creator. Like, no matter what anyone tells you, this is the true creator. And as long as you accept his sacrifice, you'll be forgiven for all your sins. So that's a desire, dude. Like, you have to have such a strong desire to feel good about yourself to go into that and actually separate yourself from everyone in the world, separate yourself from all other beliefs and how all other people think on planet Earth, to then feel like you're better than them because you just accepted the sacrifice of this thing that you learned about. And that thing fasted 40 days in the desert, but you're not trying to do that to figure out that that thing is actually just you and you're infinite. So, yes, follow your heart. Don't feel bad about your desires. Just know how to correlate them. Know that there's always a spirit to fulfill a space. That's what we see, especially on planet Earth today, right? It's big here. There's a lot of things going on. So it's not about that you can't do something because it's wrong. You know, like if you're a girl and you want to have 10 boyfriends and they're all loyal to you, you can do that. There's more than enough guys to fulfill that space. If you're a guy that wants 10 girlfriends and they're all loyal to you, there are more than enough girls to fulfill that space. If you want to go scuba diving with somebody who will smoke weed with you afterwards and then take you on helicopter rides because they like the way that you play your flute. All right. And that's just you wanting to really be appreciated for music. All right. So that's a specific way to say you want a sugar daddy, or you want someone who takes you on trips and pays like for all of your food and all of your travel and all of your life and values you. There's more than enough people to fulfill that space. There's more than enough people on planet Earth who have all these resources and don't want to enjoy them alone. Like, what? That's like almost everybody, actually. As far as when you get up to that point of being a spirit who you're powerful because you love to be alone, so you're okay working alone, but then at some point you have all of these results from your wealth that you are just in alone, then you naturally are going to want to share that with people that you enjoy being with. So again, it always takes two to tango. Like, you shouldn't feel bad about your desires, really. It's just about correlating them in a positive way that is healthy for everyone involved, basically. Like, there's more than enough sugar daddies, more than enough sugar mamas out on planet Earth for everybody who feels like they're worthy of that. And hey, boom. And then that's just the wrap. Like, do you feel like you're worthy of that? Because what's going to happen is that when you feel like you're worthy of that, you then reach a level where you create that internally, and now you don't need it externally. So what happens is the universe will literally reflect back to you who you are, because the universe is a water being. So it's not about like the law of attraction, like attracts like. No, it's like polarity. But over time, like when you're consistent, water does form to you. And then water does create life with your earth that you're making. But you're the one who's making earth from your own water, so that the universe water can actually nurture your own earth. This is elemental manifestation. I've never put manifestation in those terms. That's fire. That's going like in a course. Yo, yes, that is how true manifestation works. Because water is like opposites attract. All right, so water is polar. Like, water in and of itself is a polarized entity. So it's about you taking your own spirit and your own intention to stabilize your polarity, to stabilize your infinite feelings that can be chaotic. So most people don't manifest what they desire and create a life that they want because they can't actually hold the water and hold their feelings in place and create an earth that then other spirits can feel like nurturing. Because that's how manifestation works together. It's about you creating your own earth so that there's something for other people to latch onto. Because everyone else is in water. So if everyone's drowning and everyone's grabbing on each other and they're drowning, you're just helping each other drown more. If you can be that one spirit who communicates your fire into the water to where like you keep creating air, and this air like is so active and it's so steamy that it's like the particles are really starting to settle down into the water, and now you're creating this water from the air being created. You're creating this earth from the air being created out of the water, coming from you igniting your imagination into your feelings. Now other people can put their feelings into the structure that you've created and gain stability. And if they like where it's at, boom, then you're creating an island. Now we're creating life. This is how we create planets. Going the extra mile and maintaining a cheerful heart springboards you into a feeling of satisfaction with self. So, when you're talking about then actually getting masculine, because to take this a step further, if you just always do what you feel like, you won't actually achieve your goals nearly as fast as you want. That's the point of then masculine energy being ascension energy. When you focus your feelings into something, into seeing something, into a fire, when you focus your feelings into actually stabilizing the way that you experience your imagination, that is not going to really be possible if you expect it to feel good all the time. It's just not. And if you desire that the grind to express your imagination is going to feel good all the time, then you're not actually going to do it, because there's way more emotion than what you desire to feel. And so that's where it takes wisdom to actually enjoy from a spiritual space of detachment, using all the emotions to express yourself, knowing that you're none of these things and that they're all equally powerful and they have an equal and wonderful place in your heart and life. That's why, like, I'm not about expelling feelings of jealousy or envy or like really all these negative emotions. And look, that might be me as a Virgo being like hypercritical, but honestly, that's just me as a Virgo knowing that there's so much wisdom in every single emotion. Like, wanting to like resist an emotion too hard is a desire, and now you're ignorant to something that you could learn a lot about yourself. Like, if you just leaned into that emotion of jealousy, see the problem with people overall, now I'm sounding like the quote, or just the term, the quote, this saying like the problem with people. And I just like honestly like flashed up onto like a stage with like Grant Cardone and those other like speakers, I don't know, Ty Lopez, like the people who are like on the internet and they're all about like make money big gurus. And I feel like that's just a tagline. You know, the problem with people is, and then go into how they actually expect grinding to feel good. But really, they're just siphoning your money with some kind of like get rich quick kind of program for them, because they're getting rich from you paying them. But they are priming you by telling you that the content of this program is you're gonna have to grind, and really the content just isn't good, and you're not actually about to match up to any of their promises based on what they've actually put in here. But because it's primed with the you've got to actually work hard, most people are going to blame themselves. So it is true. This is where like those guys are really good at weaponizing this truth, that because most people expect the grind, or expect expressing themselves to always feel good, or they desire to feel how they want to feel all the time, they limit themselves and they don't actually do what they're supposed to do or experience the full freedom of their spirit, because they ignore their darkness, so to speak, like all the tablets talk about. It is good to be able to pat yourself on the back sometimes and know that you did more than what was required of you. Cool. Chapter 7, from Talmud 3, verse 7. True riches are found in the heart. That's very nice. In the original translation from the Atlantean language, Thoth said, when thou hast gained riches, follow thou thine heart. For all these are of no avail if thine heart be weary. Diminish thou not the time of following thy heart. It is a board of the soul. Thoth's commentary in modern English. Even after you obtain riches, always return to following the path of your heart. Riches are of no value to anyone if the heart is not honored. Never hesitate to turn again and again to your inner wisdom. Your very soul will shrink away in horror if you go against the guidance of your heart. Only the heart knows how to obtain true happiness. Be not fooled into thinking that pleasure can only be found in riches. Yes, money can improve the quality of your life, and wealth is good to accumulate. Wealth without happiness is like sitting down to a sumptuous banquet and having a miserable toothache that prevents you from enjoying it or even partaking. Yeah? Seshat contributes her wisdom. Precious brothers and sisters, can you see the wisdom in what my beloved Thoth has put forth? Allow yourself to feast upon the happiness that can only be found in your heart. If you find yourself in a place of not having happiness, turn again to the stillness within your heart. Do not try to move past the sadness into happiness until you have sat a while in communion with your heart. Even sadness has something to teach you. Meditation to communicate with your heart's desires. Yeah, I mean, that's literally what I just said. So I like these. Low key, I like these. I'm wondering, like, how do they do this to shot stuff? Like, does she have writings? Like, it would make sense that they just took her texts from the same place that they've taken my texts and just when, colonizing Egypt, colonizing Mesoamerica, colonizing the planet. And then, just release it like this in ways that are seemingly conversational and organic so that they can put way more of the English language into it and make things up more and make it feel better all the while. It's interesting. Meditation to communicate with your heart's desires. Before doing this meditation, think about the desires that you have for your life. Cool. Skip. We will skip that. All right, chapter 8. Love, guidance, and a straight path. In the original translation from the Atlantean language, Thoth said, that they that are guided do not astray. Ah, my gosh. They that are guided go not astray. But they that are lost cannot find a straight path. All right. They that are guided go not astray, but they that are lost cannot find a straight path. If thou go among men, make for thyself love, the beginning and end of the heart. All right. The beginning and end of the heart. You got to love yourself. If you didn't love yourself, then you would not express yourself. So if you're expressing yourself from a place of hating yourself, this is how war is created. Like, this is how bad things happen. So it's important that, yes, if thou go among men, if thou go amongst light, if you put yourself into a light body, make sure that you're doing it from a place of self-love. Because if you are not loving yourself, you're going to externalize whatever things you're not loving yourself for onto others and then start hurting others and start creating problems in your environment. And that's you creating your life, because internally you're creating life in that way as well. Thoth's commentary in modern English. The heart and the gut are the guidance systems that we have been speaking about, right? The heart is the balance. Your gut is your feminine brain. So like this top brain is our left brain, the gut is our right brain, the heart is our middle brain, our main brain. If you do not pay attention to either the heart or the gut, you will surely feel lost. As you go about your daily life, always let love be the motive for all that you do. Yes. But see, the thing is, love is desire. So that's also empty just to say love. It's got to be so much deeper than that. Like more details, Virgo, please. Because love is literally just desire. Like someone loving you can look like them not wanting you to go to a party and go hang out and talk to people. And now they limit your freedom and they want to like keep you inside or something. Or love can look like you feeling like your imagination is awesome and you create your own religion, but then your family is like, no, we need to go to church, and they beat that out of you. And it's because they love you, and they love you so much, they want you to go to heaven with all of them. All right, because that's their desire. So they can only love you from that desire as well. So freedom is a true frequency of the spirit, all right? Because love is just attachment. Love is light. Love is that Luciferian stuff. So no hate on Lucifer necessarily. I kind of called Lucifer out in an earlier tablet talks. This is more of a satanic agenda where Satan would be using everything possible, and that's very much Luciferian constructs. It's just also Lucifer is like, I mean, there's not like, the point is spirits love light. So Lucifer is sort of the full embodiment of that sort of Venetian idea of spirits loving light, because it allows us to express ourselves. And light is darkness and the light that looks like separation. And in general, darkness is separation because it's all us expressing ourselves from nothingness. So light is cutting out. Darkness is just the light that connects all of us. So that's the point of looking out into the universe or the cosmos and seeing blackness or seeing blue and being like, whoa, what is all that? Well, that's the blue light, the dark light, the accumulation of feelings light that connects all the spirits who then create and express themselves in a more physical light. And that's how we create Earth coming out of air. So yeah, letting love be the motive for all that you do. I mean, that's what white supremacy loves to grape and murder indigenous peoples. I have to say grape since this is YouTube. Loves to do that. So if I said that to them, then they would just go off and do that. Like, I'm not that unwise. Like, I'm learning every day. Best believe I'm learning every day. Like, I'm not even 24 yet. I'm learning every day. All right. This life is like a whole reset, yet not, because I have Iris self, my higher self, my spirit to communicate with since 6th grade. But, the point is that I'm very much limited by light in the same way as we all are, because that's the point of us as spirits relating. We're too infinite if we don't project our infinity into some light that we can then point at and build a relationship on. We have to create life together so we can connect our infinitely individual imaginations. That's everything. It's everything. It's everything. It's everything. It's just they want to colonize our imaginations so bad. So yeah, hence religions, right? So no, I would not just be saying, especially to religious people who want to use their imagination to colonize other spirits' imaginations, always let love be the motive for all that you do. No. I would say let love of freedom, love balance. All right? Like, that's what you need to, like, loving that concept. Like, when I'm married to Ma'at, that's really me being married to the concept of freedom. of balance. Like, that's what we're talking about here. Like, that's the point of like any good system of law and order that spirits would create in any space would be to maintain that. Seshat contributes her wisdom. In every moment, be asking yourself, does this action feel loving or not loving? Am I doing this action from a place of love and highest good for all, including myself? Most importantly, ask yourself, am I loving myself and my soul's course? You are only responsible for your own soul's journey. As much as you might seek to influence or change the journey of another, the only true path for you is your own personal path. Find yourself at peace in the journey of your own soul, knowing that you chose this exact time to come into this exact incarnation. Facts. This is all facts that Seshat is saying right now. Also, I just realized this is episode 4. Did I say it was episode 6? I'm going to have to look back. And I said episode 4. Oh my gosh. This is episode 6. Part 4 of episode 6. Oh my. Whatever. I need to smoke more. I need to get a little more grounded. Chapter 9. In the original translation from the Atlantean language, Thoth said, if one cometh unto thee for counsel, let him speak freely, that the thing for which he hath come to thee may be done. If he hesitates to open his heart to thee, it is because thou, the judge, doeth the wrong. Okay. It's important to listen to everybody. I love that. Listening is when you sit in your darkness to where you sit in other people's darkness. And sitting in other people's darkness is pretty wild. This is why it's important to watch out who you trip with. Because you're about to just like be in like all of each other's darkness. Like you're like connecting. Like, so you're about to see way more than you would when you're consciously in the light realm. Because you're not like in that subconscious space like that. So if you really want to learn about others and thus gain some like really true wisdom, all right, because wisdom is, I gain wisdom by learning about things outside of myself. That's how I gain wisdom. And that's really what wisdom is knowing that whatever you are, everyone is, and more. So, and when you project that, even if others don't feel like it's more, when you project that others are more infinite than you can even imagine, it helps you gain a much greater respect for everybody's journeys and everything that you're seeing and all the communications that are going on. And that's the point of listening. Because when you like start to actively judge and shut people down like religions do, they're just using fire to project out and show that they hate themselves and they're judging themselves. And they feel comfortable the way that they hate and judge themselves. And if you try to bring anything else into their awareness, then they're going to burn through that. Thoth's commentary in modern English. When someone comes to you for advice, put aside your own judgment as you hear them out. Right. If you are in a place to dispense wisdom, wait until the person has poured out their heart to you before speaking your opinion. If a person values your advice enough to honor you by requesting your input, honor them by keeping silent until you have weighed all in your heart. Encourage them to tune into their own heart for guidance from within. If the person hesitates, it is because they feel the judgment energy that is coming from you. That's pretty fair. Seshat contributes her wisdom. It is a real gift to keep silent as you allow another person to confide in you. It is. And I have messed up a good amount of friendships in this life, is Chase Clarence Calloway. because of me as a Gemini over communicating other people's secrets. Things that other people told me in the dark that I felt like because they were in a relationship with this other person or connected to this other person that everyone should know. But I had to learn spirituality is individuality. It doesn't matter if this woman is married to this dude or not. She's relating with me as an individual, and it's going to cause me problems if I go and tell her dude what she told me on an individual basis. So that was just hammering in why I gotta keep secrets. Cause like people tell me a lot, dude. People tell me a lot. People tell me a lot. And it's interesting because spirits like that. It's very feminine to enjoy having secrets told to you. Because it's basically like it shows that someone connects with you on a deeper level than they connect with others. This is why girls love secrets. Because it's very subconscious. It's like, oh, wait, this is something no one else knows. Like, oh, it goes deeper. So our relationship's going to be deeper. It's going to be more water. I can feel more. Whereas a guy, or, he's, a dude, he's focused on himself, his individuality. He doesn't care about a secret. He's like, a secret? Does that have to do with me? What? Get it out. No, I don't care, dude. So, and that's where everyone has masculine and feminine energy inside them. So you can be a guy who cares about secrets, just like you can be a girl who doesn't. It's just then that girl, she's more in her individual masculine energy if she doesn't care about hearing a secret. And if a guy does care about hearing a secret, he's more in his feminine energy. Hence why I am the god of the moon, not the god of the sun. All right, god of the subconscious world. My subconscious world. Not the, like white supremacists love to say, like everything outside of here. No, mine. And then we do it together. And we create infinite simulations and infinite universes every day. So much can happen, like any second. Whatever, bro. Whatever. Words. If a person hesitates when genuinely seeking your counsel, it is due to the condemning energy that you may be giving off. If you cannot look at an issue with an open mind, it is better to confess this to the person asking advice. That's very true. Simply say, I am not the best person from whom to seek advice on this topic, as I have my own triggers issues around this. This is fantastic advice. Admitting that you have your own set of judgments does not lower you. It makes you more human, more communicative, more balanced. False pride is detrimental. Your honesty will help them, much more than faulty advice tainted by your own harsh judgments. Yeah. Chapter 10. Gossip hinders wisdom. Big facts. So this is why, it's just, spirits like kind of have to care about gossip. Because spirits love wisdom. Like we want to learn. At least that's, again, I can only project from my space. So whatever. So gossip literally does hinder wisdom. Let's see. In the original translation from the Atlantean language, Thoth said, repeat thou not extravagant speech, neither listen thou to it, for it is the utterance of one not in equilibrium, one not balanced, right, but one in desire. Speak thou not of it, so that he before thee may know wisdom. So, a big thing with gossip is that you're basically just bringing other people's problems to people who have nothing to do with them. And now, like, we're just like, just so I can explain before we hop out of here. We'll finish this. But just so I can explain why gossip is so low status. You're literally just the middleman for communicating someone else's negative experiences to the person in front of you. And now, like, the more you're a gossiper, the more you are the middle of this web of negativity, of connecting negative experiences from others and then putting them and projecting them into this relationship or whatever. And that's where now, as a gossiper, all you're doing is projecting out your own negativity that you're creating, because you're the one using your imagination and your feelings to communicate what you see, and not what you want to see, but supposedly what you want to see because you're creating it. And then that's where you'd have to learn that it's not what you want to see and to direct your energy, because talking about all the things you don't want to see is giving it power. So if you're talking about how everyone keeps like doing this and that to you, and how people are like whack and blah, 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 and you're doing that a lot, you are the center of that web. Like, you're starting to show everybody that you may very well be the one who is actually that way. And that's why you can only perceive everyone else as being that way, because you're the center of your own universe. So then that's where that's not wise, because wisdom is true connection in darkness, and knowing the fact that you as spirits set up everything and created the circumstances for you to meet. So it's important for you to reflect and bathe in that vibe that you as spirits created, versus gossiping based on your desires. Because that's what gossip is. It's all a spirit communicating from desiring. And that's like from fiery desire, not the desire to connect, but the desire to project. Because if you are gossiping, you're not desiring to connect. You're desiring to project. And that's just where I can see that, you possibly would think that projecting this gossip onto someone is connecting, because you're connecting this person's negative experience to the person in front of you. The thing is, people don't need more negativity in their life. So this is why going hermit mode is important. Like, when I was dealing with all these girls creating this cult about me and like threatening me and chasing me and harassing me with physical things and all that, at some point, even though people were really happy, it seemed to protect me, I realized that at the very least, it didn't feel good to me, and thus didn't seem fair that people were taking attention off of themselves and focusing on protecting me from these girls. So then that's where I just got more into hermit mode and was like, all right, I kind of instead should just remove myself. And I stopped talking about it, because also it's like talking about them gives them power. But then it's like simultaneously like, but if it's happening to you, this is where it's not gossip necessarily. Because if something negative is happening to you, or something negative happened to someone in your life and it is relevant to the conversation, definitely connect it if it feels right and it feels good and it feels like there's wisdom there. And that's the point. It's not what you do, but how and why, especially why. But how is what that why manifests as. And those two are really working together. Those commentary in modern English. Do not repeat gossip. Do not even listen to it. For gossip is spoken by one who's not in balance. Do not repeat the thing said, but gently keep silent. The one seeking to stir up unrest by vain words will realize that there is no value in idle gossip. They may cause them to turn their own thoughts inward and become wiser. See, here's the thing though. Gossip is really powerful. Like, gossip low-key can take down regimes. Like, you can be a tribal leader. You can be leading a whole kingdom. And if your people start gossiping about you and you don't like do anything about that gossip, then it's about to be a wrap. You're about to not have a kingdom. Because that gossip is poisonous to wisdom. This is how gossip hinders wisdom. The people are not able to connect with you and gain the wisdom of why they as spirits created that circumstance and created the situation where they can even meet you in the first place and relate with you, they're ignoring that too hard to gossip, because that's what gossip does. I don't know why I just lost my train of thought. Gossip is the poison in the water that makes people forget why they created the circumstance where they can connect with you in the first place. So then that's why it's like overly negative, and then people get in their own way. So a spirit who gossips more and more is someone who's getting in their own way, because that air that they're putting out of negativity is turning into earth negativity. It's turning into structures that are like boxing them into a certain way of seeing life. Seshat contributes her wisdom. Idle words is a practice most commonly attributed to women, yet both males and females often seek to gain attention or a sense of importance by spreading gossip. And again, there's a big difference between gossip and things that genuinely happen to you and you desire to connect that to others, especially to warn them. Like if a girl rapes a dude, if a guy assaults a girl, if like someone like hurts someone else, it would be important to communicate about that. That's where like, is the news gossip? Very much. Like it is gossip. The point of the news is not though, right? Like no one would say the point of the news is to gossip. People would say that the point of the news would be to communicate about the world so we can have a greater awareness. And that's where it's like the spectrum of like, all right, well, where does that start to become gossip? And this is all of our relationship with gossip then. As you react with an air of indifference or appear completely disinterested, the one seeking to gossip will fall silent. For your own progression forward, it is always good to ask, are these words uplifting? Are these words kind? How does my heart feel as I speak them? It does not matter if the words are factual. It profits your soul nothing if words are uttered in spite. That's big facts. Way to go, Seshat. Very feminine wisdom right there. All right, this is part 4 of episode 66. Yes, I really hope I did not say episode 6. Whatever. I will see you in part 5 of Sexy 6, where Seshat and I will continue collaborating through this lady named Rebecca in this tablet called The Secret Key to the Emerald Tablets. So far, bro, I'm actually like, I'm enjoying this, you know, because this is applicable in not a spiritual way, but just like in a mental way, like in a conceptual, like theoretical way that does apply to life if you have the right relationship with these words. If you have the right relationship with these words and yeah, you go through this, definitely helpful. Again, this isn't us, so it's still a lie about them being in contact with us. So, whatever. Gang, gang. Yeah.